Pathological narcissists exist in an altered state of reality, which is why they are able to deny reality and rewrite the script. What you're dealing with is someone that is predominantly living through their ego. Their ego is the mask, and the mask is what you're interacting with in the relationship. When you're dealing with a pathological narcissist, then you're dealing with someone that does not have a true self. They abandon their true self or their true inner spirit for an ego. The thing is, we are spirit, right? So we're spirit, energy, source energy, prana, life force, chi, the observer, the watcher, etc. So we're spirit governing a human body with access to a mind as a tool. We also have access to our willpower and our emotions. When pathological narcissists say I am, then they're saying I am from the mind level. And that in itself does not make any sense. One of the main signs of mental illness is identification with the mind. I mentioned before that your mind is a tool. Your mind is a tool that you use to make decisions. As spiritual beings, we manifest from the non-physical to the physical, or from the metaphysical to the physical. When we say meta, then we're talking about what is beyond the physical, what is after it, or essentially what is alongside it. As multidimensional beings, we're actually mostly not physical, right? You cannot touch your spirit, you cannot touch your emotions, you cannot touch your willpower, you cannot touch your mind. And your mind is not your brain. Your brain is a physical organ that is a part of the body. Your mind is not physical. If pathological narcissists are identifying with their mind, or if they believe that they are their mind, then technically there is no captain on this ship. And you know that the captain abandoned their ship because a lot of times you will look at the narcissist in their eyes, for example, and it will look like the lights are on but nobody's really home. Pathological narcissists are actually going through a dissociation process. Again, they abandoned their true self. And in doing this, an ego developed. And again, the ego is the false self or the mask. The longer they live in their false self, then the more they are losing their minds. Because again, you're not your mind. Your mind is a tool that you use to make decisions. This is why pathological narcissists believe in the different characters that they create, the different masks. There's really nobody there to stop it. If you think about the emotional, spiritual age of a pathological narcissist, then it's most likely going to be between the ages of about 5 and 12 years old. What you are actually dealing with is psycho-spiritual arrested development. So physically, this person could be in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, etc. However, behind the veil, they are closer to being the emotional age of a toddler. When we take a look at the Hawkins scale, for example, we can see where pathological narcissists are people that are rooted in shame and they are unable to move past their pride. So they did not develop emotionally past that. This area from shame to pride is also called victim abuser consciousness. We could call it the first, second, or third dimension. We could call it hell or the purgatory. We could also call it lower ego development. Specifically, it would be the lower ego developments levels 1, 2, and 3. Again, this is the third dimension. They did not develop past the third dimension into the realm of what we call rational linear thinking. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we can expect from someone that did not develop past their lower ego. What you see at the psychological developmental levels 1, 2, and 3 is what you should expect from a pathological narcissist. The higher stages are not applicable because again, we are talking about arrested development. It is important to understand that you're dealing with someone that is not in a positive state of awareness. So what you can get from a pathological narcissist is control, manipulation, greed. And on a better day, when they're feeling better, then it's going to be blame, jealousy, and revenge. At best, you're going to get their superiority, that is their grandiosity. You're going to get their arrogance, and again, at best, they top out at pride. This means that you should not expect accountability and personal growth or courage from a pathological narcissist. They do not have it to give to you. So it is going to be impossible to collaborate and fix different problems in the relationship because pathological narcissists believe that you are their opponent. It is important that you do not rationalize the behavior of people that are stuck at this level of awareness. There is nothing rational about it because they did not get to the level of rational linear thinking that is represented by the fourth dimension or the green area here on the map of consciousness. Pathological narcissists exist in suffering consciousness, survival mode. It is victim abuser consciousness, which means that somebody has to be the abuser, then somebody else will be the victim. Somebody has to be put in the role of master, then somebody has to be put in the role of slave. There is no equality in victim abuser consciousness because pathological narcissists do not see you as their equal. They see you as their subordinate. If you think back in the narcissistic abusive entanglement, you can also probably think of times when the pathological narcissist will pretend to be the victim and they will claim that you are the one that is abusing them. This is the mindset, this is the psychology of people that are stuck in victim abuser consciousness. When it comes to pathological narcissists, right, do not expect honesty, trust, integrity. There's going to be no collaboration. There's going to be no empathy. They are empathy impaired. What they do have is apathy, the opposite. If we were to take a look at this from the Maslow's hierarchy of needs perspective, then pathological narcissists are stuck at the lower stages. If we use the Hawkins scale, then the same applies. You are not really dealing with people that are ascending. Pathological narcissists are actually stuck in a shame pride cycle and they're not able to ascend. And this is because they won't face their shame. Instead, they're trying to run from it. They have the ability to rewrite truth because they really are not based in truth. They are not really their authentic self. Instead, they pretend to be somebody that they are not. And not only do they pretend to be somebody else, they believe in the mask. Pathological narcissists are the Anna Delveys of the world. They pretend to be different people depending on who they are around because again, they're not really based in reality. They don't really have a true self. What they do have is multiple false selves, multiple masks depending on who they are around, depending on who they are mimicking. It is very important that you understand that pathological narcissists, sociopaths, psychopaths, antisocial people, users, manipulators, etc. It is very important to understand that they live in a false reality. And this is why they get upset with you when you don't prop up their ego, when you're not believing in the false self. The only way for you to exist with them is for you to also be a false self. And this is the reason why you lose yourself in these entanglements. It is not based in reality. It is not based in truth. You are slowly being drained off your true self, being drained off your light when you are in entanglements with these individuals. And as always, if you appreciate the content, please give us a like, share, and subscribe. Go ahead and save the videos. And if you have any questions or feedback, you can go ahead and leave a comment, and I'll catch you in the next video.